So yesterday the news broke that the Saints got permission to speak with Derek Carr about possibly filling that starting QB1 role in New Orleans. As far as I know, he's headed there today to speak with the Saints. I think it's a good thing. I think Derek Carr is a better quarterback than anyone that's taken snaps for the Saints over the past couple seasons. So it's certainly, in my opinion, it's an upgrade. Maybe I'll catch some flack over that. I'm not sure, but I like the idea of getting Derek Carr in there. I think the compensation. Now there's a couple of factors at play. The compensation as far as draft capital, if you can get Derek Carr for a third or fourth, I'm willing to do that and not run the risk of letting him get into free agency and have 8 teams bid over him. If we can get in there early, especially if we're the only team that speaks to Las Vegas prior to the deadline where they need to cut him, which I think is 2 or 3 days after the Super Bowl, the 15th, maybe. But if we can be the only team, we can almost kind of pick our price, because at that point, Las Vegas is just going to take something rather than get nothing. So if we can get him for a third or a fourth, you're not going to get better value out of a player in the third or fourth round in the draft in most cases. So I like the compensation that we're giving back if it works out that way. Then if you solidify your quarterback, you can spend that higher draft capital on filling in some of those holes, whether it's the power running back or a defensive tackle or possibly a possession wide receiver or some offensive line help, rather than draft a quarterback that you're unsure of their medical history and how they're going to come back from certain injuries, or just the roll of the dice that you get whenever you draft a quarterback, especially a high value quarterback. I still do like the idea of getting Hooker in there and giving him a shot, and you can also do that. If you get Carr, you've got somebody to work in front of him initially and then maybe pass the torch at some point. But a lot of it also hinges on the contract that we're going to be able to work. I know you've got to basically agree to a contract as he comes in, and then once he's in your door, you can kind of rework his contract to push some money down the road and do the whole Mickey Loomis cap special. So that's certainly part of it. But then the other part is how are you going to use him? So I would love to see the Saints just take Pete Carmichael and just push him into some imaginary position. If you feel the need to keep employing Pete Carmichael, you can pay him. I could care less what you give to him, but just push him in a position where he's not having as much of an effect on the day-to-day offense. Bring in a new offensive coordinator, whether that's an in-house hire and a promotion, or you're bringing somebody in from the outside. Either way, get somebody that can work with the pieces that you're putting in front of them. It doesn't necessarily have to be a continuity Sean Payton kind of offense, but the primary playmakers that you're going to have on offense. Get somebody in there that can use those tools to the best of your advantage and make it work. I mean, the Saints are in such a lousy division. Everybody's kind of in turmoil right now in the NFC South. The division is just ripe for the picking for the next couple of years. I do think that Derek Carr is the kind of guy that can push them over the top and get the Saints where they need to be to get a couple more division crowns. And then once you get into the playoffs, look, I mean, who knows what can happen, especially with a defense like ours. As long as they can keep those guys intact and everybody stays healthy, who knows what can come in the next couple of years. So that's my opinion. Let me know if I'm way off base on both Derek Carr and how this could all play out, or let me know if I'm right. And that's entirely up to you. Who dat, everybody?